All right, guys, we are here this morning. Market's kind of flat today. There's not really doing anything. You can see the Q and the SPY are both up a little bit. Tesla gapping up to 240s. All right, I'm awake. Today we got a bunch of data coming out. All right, so today we got a bunch of data coming out. We got non-farm employment data, jobless claims report, services and non-manufacturing PMI a little bit later on this morning at 10. So yeah, we got a bunch of stuff. First thing is the non-farm employment data. You know, that's the prelim non-farm payrolls. Usually they come out, usually this report comes out on Wednesday, and then Friday we get the actual payroll numbers. It's a short holiday week though, because Monday was closed this week, and so instead of that, we're gonna get non-farm employment today, and then NFP tomorrow. So that's what we got going on. Yeah, I mean, jobless claims are unemployment filings, but they're shorter term, like unemployment percentage. All right, guys, we are here this. Sorry, unemployment is a percentage that drops monthly. Jobless claims drops weekly. It's how many people are. It's the actual number in terms of how many people are filing for unemployment. So yeah, that's what jobless claims are. If you don't know what they are, they're unemployment filings, is what they are. But it might move markets. Like, we don't know. Sometimes it does, but. So it says this guy's 9-year-old cousin destroyed his entire collection. Collection of what though? I guess it looks like anime toys. As a father to a 9-year-old, what I'll tell you 9-year-olds struggle with the most is emotional regulation. You know, like they take something bad and then at least, and this isn't obviously all of them, but my son will take something bad and then make it much worse by just not being able to control himself, you know. And then he'll calm down and apologize about 10 minutes later and be like, "Hey, I'm sorry," and it's all good, you know. You learn that over time, I guess. But yeah, jobless claims today. We're gonna do a poll. What's up, Sam? What's up, UD? Joseph, Alberto, Prey, K, JT. What's up, team? Tesla falling to 230s today. We'll see, bro. Y'all hit the like button. I appreciate it. Thank you. Hit the like button. Any Bitcoin news today? I see Coinbase is up. Bitcoin is up slightly on the day, but I'm assuming there might. Yeah, we took video games away from my son. You know, one thing, it wasn't like what we would see a lot is dopamine detox. Like we would see, like basically one of the problems with technology is that your brain's dopamine system isn't as evenly regulated as without video games. Like when you have something that's that exciting, adrenaline boosting, you know what I mean? Like interesting right in front of you that you can play anytime you want. What it does is it makes the standard for your excitement higher. You know, so like in order to get excited or happy in general, you need to have more stimulus from the video games, right? And so when you do that over a long period of time, it makes it so that, you know, your brain needs these super, you know, exciting things just to be normal. And so when you take that away, like what I would notice in my son is that we'd let him play video games, and then whenever it would be time to put the video games up, he would like crash almost. Like he would be super sad, super moody, super unhappy. And it made sense because it was like he just got done playing this really, really exciting thing for an hour, and now he has no excitement, you know. And so it makes the standard higher to make your brain excitement. It messes up your dopamine regulation, and it just ultimately we noticed he was a much better kid when he didn't play video games all the time. We still let him play occasionally, like 30 minutes, on a day or two of the weekend, we let them play for like 30 minutes. But that's it. We don't let them play. It's not even how often we let them play. It's the amount of time we let them play. We noticed if we let him play for over an hour, it got really bad, right? Where if we kept it to 30 minutes, he would put it up and be okay and be normal afterwards. So, but I'm sure, I don't want to paint it with a broad brush. I'm sure every kid's kind of different, but yeah. And I love video games. This is coming from somebody that plays, video games. But yeah, I think you got to limit it sometimes. AMC all the way down to 560s right now. Q basically completely flat. Here's AMC. You can see Tesla on the right side under 240s. AMC under 565 right now. Big red day yesterday. Well, I mean, I play video games as a 30-something-year-old JT, and so I don't think we can necessarily judge adults for choosing whatever they want to do with their time. For me personally, I'm always like a pretty competitive person. Like, I love competing with people. I hate to lose. Very similar. Like, I brought my son to Jiu-jitsu, and my son's exactly like I am. Like, he hates to freaking lose. But because of that, like, he wants to get better at stuff because he doesn't like losing. And so it's good in that way. But for me, I just like competing. I never really was about playing stories of video games. Like, I don't like story modes of video games. I like to play people online and compete against people online. That's fun. The same reason I like to compete in jiu-jitsu. I don't actually go compete, but I like to train jiu-jitsu because I can test myself against other people. It's a fun outlet for that type of thing. And so I think it depends, It depends on how much you're neglecting the rest of your life with video games. Is what's going to dictate whether it's good or bad for you. Yeah, I love Zelda, Yeah, well, some of those games can get tense, JT, I'm not saying he shouldn't control himself better, but I'd cut him some slack, bro. What's up, guys? All right, yeah, y'all hit the like button. Again, today we got non-farm payrolls at 8:15. We've got jobless claims at 8:30. We've got services PMI and services non-manufacturing PMI data at 9:45 today. So we got a bunch of stuff. We got PMI data at 9:45. We've got jobless claims at 8:30. We've got non-farm employment data at 8:15. Non-farm data is expected at 1:15. We'll put this up on screen. All right, so jobless claims are expected at 216. All right, so again, jobless claim, non-farm data released at 8:15 a.m. and is expected at 1:15. Jobless claims drop at 8:30 a.m. and are expected at expected at 216. All right, there we go. So we'll put this up on screen. Again, you can see the Q actually going red this morning. Q actually going red. Not really a super volatile day yesterday, mostly flat, but the Q going red a little bit. AMC diving down some. We can look at Tesla. Tesla dumping down a little bit as well. I don't feel this song. I don't like that song. It takes a couple days. Alan, stop snoring, bro. Wake up, dude. You know, snoring's not good for you, bro. You want to go get checked for sleep apnea, bro. Alan, get up right now. You know, wake up, bro. How dare you sleep right now and snore and bother your father, Alberto, you know. KRTA potential short squeeze. We'll see. Yeah, I mean, I don't think it's a short squeeze. I think it's just a sketchy penny stock. Walgreens posted earnings beat, but slashed his quarterly divvy in half. Yeah, it's up. So Walgreens just released. So we'll put Walgreens numbers up. They just came out. So yeah, they posted 66-cent profit EPS versus 61-cent expected. Sales of 36.7 beat the 34.86 estimates. They did cut their divvy though. They cut it by 48% to strengthen the cash position. To be fair, Walgreens didn't really have a big dividend anyway. So, I mean, it's all good. Yeah, I mean, again, guys, you come here trying to promote some other guy, you're going to get banned quickly. And that's not how you grow. You know, the way you grow is not by going to other people's streams and, like, plugging yourself, trying to steal other people's viewers. Like, that's just not the way you grow. Again, if you're unable to grow, like, again, it's just not how you do it, brother. It's just not how you do it. Like, you're going to burn bridges with big communities that you could have been able to maybe, you know, collaborate with in the future. But instead, they're just going to ban you and, you know, it's just not how you grow. The way you grow on social media is by putting out content that people want to see, you know? Like, that's how you grow. You know what I mean? And it's so transparent. It's like, bro, come on now, dude. And again, if you got to send bots to other people to try to spam your own content, like, you're hurting you know, you're hurting yourself. Hey, thank you, Kay, my guy. Thanks so much, brother. Thanks so much, man. Over the summer, I maxed out all 4 credit cards. It was fun. Why? The way you do it, consistency is key. Regularly post content that resonates with your audience. A consistent schedule keeps us engaged and aware of your presence. 100%, yeah. I'm all about consistency. So I'm in Walgreens right now, actually. I wasn't, when you're holding stuff longer term, it doesn't really matter too much. But I'm actually in Walgreens right now. Our average price in Walgreens is $22.13. And so you love to see it. Walgreens reacting favorably to this earnings report, although the rest of the market kind of diving down a little bit. Again, you can see Walgreens right here moving up. We got a couple shares. It's not a huge position, but we're in it, so we'll take it. Bought a kombucha. Dude, I'm a big kombucha drinker. I really am. Like, I love kombuchas. I used to hate them, but it makes sense, right? The reason kombuchas are good for you makes sense, right? So, like, here, I'll explain to you. If you've ever heard of kombucha, it's an acquired taste. It's a carbonated drink that's got fermented vegetables and fruit. Fermented fruit, mostly. But fermented stuff in it. And you might be saying, hey, why are you going to drink fermented food? Because there's a scientific health reason for it. And it makes sense, right? So imagine, and I'll explain this argument for kombucha. What's healthy for humans are things that our ancient ancestors, our hunter-gatherer ancestors had access to. That's what's generally healthy for us. Not completely, like there's always outliers, but that's in general what's healthy for humans to consume, right? If you think about this, like blueberries, strawberries, superfoods, very healthy for us. Why? because our ancient hunter-gatherer ancestors could walk around picking these foods and consuming them, and in turn they're the least foreign things to our bodies, right? And so that's what makes things to a certain extent healthy and unhealthy. You know, with that same argument in mind, I'm sure hunter-gatherers would go around and sometimes they would consume things that were slightly fermented. You know, I think that's just an obvious thing, that sometimes they would consume things that were slightly fermented. And so in turn, that's something that our body is used to. When you compare that to like processed sugar, something ancient ancestors, hunter-gatherer ancestors had no access to whatsoever, it causes inflammation in our bodies. And inflammation is the root cause of like cancer and acne. And a lot of the modern issues that humans have health-wise are caused by inflammation, like generally. And so, you know, that's the argument for kombucha, is that fermented foods are something that were once part of our daily diet. Humans always didn't have the luxury of being picky and only eating the most ripe things. And so, you know, that's something the human body is used to a certain extent. And with that, it's pretty healthy for humans. That's my argument for kombucha. I drink it pretty regularly. The carbonation helps, but it's also just good for my stomach. I have stomach problems, so it's good for me. No, for sure, 100%. It has good bacteria that helps your gut, fights off the bad bacteria. Absolutely. All right, so we're in Walgreens. Yeah, I already saw it pawn, which is why I ranted in the first place. It's an acquired taste, but it's good. Kombucha is good, man. I drink it a lot. We drink it a lot here. My family's a big believer. I also drink, there's like a Russian milk form of it called kefir, or kefir. I drink that sometimes too. You got to get that good bacteria in your stomach. It helps me a lot, you know. But again, you can use that, like the argument of like what our ancient ancestors had access to. You can use that argument when you're trying to figure out what's healthy or not, to a certain extent. It's not broad brushing, complete without outliers, but like to a certain extent, you know. And it makes sense, right? Processed sugar's bad. White flour, pretty bad for us, right? Why? Because our ancient ancestors didn't have access to white flour. They might have had wheat and like wheats and stuff like that to a certain extent, but it wasn't super common as well. You know, lean meats, the healthiest for us, like deer, probably really healthy for us, versus other things that are a little bit more mass produced. You know, but again, you can use that argument in a lot of different ways. Yeah, Topstep has a sale today, guys. Remember, so I don't know if you realize this, but we do have a sale on Topstep today. I think it's just for one account, but I'm not 100% sure. I think it's just for one account, but I'm not 100% sure. Yeah, I gotta read this and accept the contract to get funded. Pay activation fee. Alright, so what is 150 bucks? There we go. So we got our next funded account. Alright. Yeah, so they do have a sale. Yeah, so there's a huge discount on Topstep. The code is New Year 2024. New Year 2024. So again, if you haven't already, check out Topstep. You can use this link and type in New Year 2024 promo. Yeah, so again, remember, you can type in this promo here, New Year 2024, all lowercase, and get a huge deal for Topstep. I'll put the link up right now. Alright, so again, we'll put this up if you want to check it out. Again, they do have a huge sale going on right now. So yeah, that's the code right there, New Year 2024. We got it up in our... All right, let me make sure it works for you guys. Let's try Quant Tower. Yeah, it works. Yeah, the payment certainly works, guys. So again, yeah, so it definitely works. It gets you the Topstep combine for $24.50. $24.50 for the Topstep combine. It's pretty solid. Yeah, I just got it. So see, I gotta get this thing to give me alerts, bro. I gotta get it to text me. Alright, so let's build this alert. I want it every time the Market Oracle Pro gives me anything. Any alert or function call on the Market Oracle Pro. I want the notification and app. Okay, so we're gonna do... let's verify this. So we're getting a code here. Hold on, bear with me, guys. Doing something else. All right. All right, there we go. All right, guys. Sorry, I'm doing something else. I mean, Arthur, dude. I mean, I don't know how old you are, bro. But if you ask a question and then less than a minute later, you're complaining that I don't answer your question in less than a minute while I'm also running a live stream with hundreds of people here, you might be a child. So, cheers to you, sir. Because of that, I'm just not going to answer the question at all, whatever your question is. Cheers to you, my guy. Was the dividend cut a good thing for Walgreens? They're reacting like it is. You know, Walgreens is up. I'm in Walgreens right now, and it is up some. Yeah, you can get the promo code for another. You can get up to 3 combines, Gunny. AMC straddling that previous closing price. All right, so this is Walgreens on the right side. Here's the Q on the left. The Q just broke down slightly green, trying to go red on the day. Went from slightly green to slightly red. We'll see if it continues. Yeah, I could probably get Topstep X if I want. You know, I could probably get it if I want it. Yeah, I mean, part of me sees this as a very weak sign on the NASDAQ. Let's see what else we got. It's bouncing back a little bit here. We got a little bounce back to 398. The Q is down though. Again, Walgreens is up. We'll have to look at like Apple, Tesla, Amazon. There's Tesla. Spot ETF is an ETF based around the actual spot price of Bitcoin. Is what it is. So it's an ETF based around the actual spot price of Bitcoin. Yeah, I didn't really want to respond to my guy. I was literally asking politely. I mean, no, you weren't, though, brother. Listen, I don't want to keep going back and forth with you, man. Again, I'm going to tell you just kind of consideration online. Like, listen, you're joining somebody's live stream. If somebody doesn't respond to you within a minute, you can't complain and start getting mad at them, which you did. You said, quote, let's find out. What did you say? What's the point of going live if you ignore my question, brother? Again, it's a pet peeve of mine. Like, when people start getting mad at me because I won't respond fast enough, I'm usually going to, question how old you are. I think that's pretty normal and pretty standard. I'm not trying to be disrespectful. I'm trying to say that's a childish thing. I'm obviously running a live stream. And so, again, I guess, like, you're new. I've never really seen you before. And so if that's, like, your first interaction where you ask something and then less than 60 seconds later you're getting upset with me over something trivial, I don't know if you're going to last very long here, brother. I just don't know. I mean, I don't mind it. Like, the drama is kind of good for the channel, right? So, like, in the end, sometimes the drama can be more exciting to watch than me just sitting here talking about whatever. And so, I don't mind the drama, and sometimes I lean into it a little bit. But on a realer note, patience, bro. Patience. CFDs are illegal here, Jack. Yeah. Can't trade CFDs in the US. Yeah, you can't trade them. Yeah. I mean, the market's definitely down a lot. I'm looking at the NASDAQ here, which we did get into one trade that we made money on just now. We made $50 on our express funded account. So we're not doing that bad this morning. We got a little cushion. Part of me wants to short into this little pop-up too. And we'll see if we do. I don't know what we're going to do yet. Do you think this bearish will continue for a more long time or will end today or tomorrow? I really have no idea. I don't know what the market's going to do. Jobless gonna show the real story. We'll see, brother. We'll see. I hope so. I think last year nobody take profit. Could it start this year? You know. Thoughts on today's sentiment? I think the market's down over the last couple days. I think that it depends on what the data shows. I think non-farm data is prelim. Non-farm data is prelim payroll numbers, and so. Oh, sorry to hear that, Justin. That sucks. All right. Tulane. It's a nice school. I mean, West Coast UC system is much better, in my opinion. TJ, as a college overall, Tulane's good. And I'm from Louisiana, but but you also have to take like cost of living into that. Like, Cali's gonna cost a lot more. So you know, I don't know. It's gonna be a lot better standard of living in the U.S. or in Louisiana versus Cali. Versus how much money you have. You know what I mean? Like, it's just going to be better. But, you know. If jobless claims are growing, it signals weakening economy. The recent increase in initial jobless claims and the insured unemployment rate could be a sign of economic slowdown or recession. Too early, brother. It's too early to say that. Like, okay. And again, you'll notice like a very common trend here. Look at Tesla bounce up. Maybe it'll drag the market up some too. But you'll notice a very common trend. The trend is like this, right? Like, a lot of the time, no matter which way the numbers are heading, people are critical. And so, for instance, if jobless claims are going down, you know, meaning less people filing for unemployment, people are going to say, hey, inflation's out of control. You got more people working, more people spending. This is bad for inflation. This is bearish, right? If jobless claims are going up, people are going to say, hey, more people are filing for unemployment. You know, it's bearish. It's a bad sign. You know, it's the end of the world. And so no matter which way it goes, people are going to be bearish on it. We're nowhere near a recession. You can look at the GDP we had. We're nowhere near a recession. Nowhere near a recession. And to a certain extent, the market over the last year has actually reacted positively to less economic growth, especially in jobs. Like, one of Powell's comments yesterday, we saw the FOMC Fed minutes report yesterday. They said the labor market was too resilient. And so one of the things that the Fed wants is to push down the labor market, which might be signaled through jobless claims reports coming in over expected numbers. You know, if jobless claims come in higher, it means more people filing for unemployment, less people spending, and ultimately less inflation problems. I don't think we're anywhere near recession fears right now. I'm not saying we can't get there soon, or we're not going to get there this year, but I don't think we're anywhere near recession fears yet. GDP's too strong. Spending is too high for recession fears and worries right now, you know. Do you think Tesla will become a penny stock? Of course not. I think interest rates will drop this year. I think it'll pop today, especially the Russell. Well, the Russell's mostly small caps. I think last year nobody took profit. Could it start this year? You know, 1 year tax postponed. Maybe. We're at a reversal point for the Q. Yeah, people act like I was so mad at that guy. You know, I'm not mad at anybody. Like, he's just getting mad at me for, you know, he's getting mad at me for not responding immediately. And that doesn't set a good dynamic moving forward for him. Yeah, Topstep does have the promo right now. Yeah, but that's not necessarily true. Like, consumers can pull back. Unemployment going up is not necessarily going to be a negative sign And again, it really depends on the numbers. Like, what a recession means is 2 consecutive losing GDP quarters. And we're nowhere near that, especially in the last GDP. I'll put it this way. Everybody was screaming that we would hit a recession in 2023. People genuinely made fun of me a heavy amount. They would make fun of me. They would tell me I didn't know what I was talking about. They would tell me, like, all these different things regarding... they would tell me all these different things regarding hitting a recession in 2023. And if I didn't agree with them that we would hit a recession in 2023, that I was dumb and I didn't know what I was talking about and like all this different stuff, very quickly last year, you realized that we weren't going to hit a recession last year, that the market was very strong, that GDP was growing, that the economy was still doing pretty well, all things considered. And I know that goes against what a lot of people wanted because, a lot of people have been betting on this big market crash. But, last year was a very strong year. And maybe we hit one in 2024. Again, I think some arguments for a recession in 2024. And again, I don't see us in one close to now. But we did raise rates really aggressively over the last 2 years. And so rate hikes have a lagging effect. They don't hit immediately. And so we might start to feel the effects of those rate hikes, specifically in banking, over the next year, over 2024. I think that's one of the arguments for a recession is we raised rates pretty aggressively. And so we might start to feel the effects of those rate hikes into next year. You know what I mean? Yeah, then we saw stocks hit all-time highs. Yep. So. All right, so we're scalping here. We just made a little bit more on the NASDAQ in our funded account. We are up $105 in 2 trades. Not too shabby. Scalping this. I probably could have held it a little bit longer. Yeah, but look at the data. Overbought stocks, extreme greed. I mean, we might be overbought short term. I don't know about long term, though. I don't think we're necessarily overbought long term. I think it depends on what some of the tech industries do. How do he know while we are in one? We're not in a recession currently. If you look at GDP growth, it doesn't signal that. Again, recession means 2 consecutive losing GDP quarters. We had that a few years ago, but the market rebounded pretty quick, so I wouldn't even call it a recession. I mean, some people could, but we're certainly not in one now. I mean, the market is breaking all-time highs. Economy's doing well. Unemployment's relatively low, all things considered. We're certainly not in one now. I think most of the people, I think what happens, guys, is a lot of people get wrapped up in politics, is what it is, right? And so if you dislike the current administration, you might really push for the economy to just be in shambles right now. And, for us to just be in the end of the world scenario because you want the other side to look bad, right? And again, I'm not very political. I don't really pick sides. I dislike both sides, to be honest. But we're certainly not in a recession right now. And I think politics, unfortunately, makes people really... I think people who don't watch the market regularly get wrapped up in political bias where they think we're just the worst we could ever be. I don't know if anybody's ever actually seen an inflation graph of the last 50 years. Just to give you guys some context here. Yeah, just to give you guys some context here, inflation-wise. Okay. This is from the New York Times. All right. This is from the New York Times. Okay. This was 2022. We hit up almost 9% in 2022. And it's nothing compared to look at the 60s, 70s, and 80s. Right? We had super high inflation rates in the 60s, 70s, and 80s. And again, we're just not there yet. At this point in time, we are way down here. We're right around here right now. And so inflation-wise, we're doing a lot better. Unemployment's low. It doesn't mean it's going to continue, but it is an election year. And so to look at the lens of politics, a lot of the time, they really push for good economics in election years, and that's this year. So, maybe we'll get some good action. I'm not sure. But so far, we're certainly not in a recession right now. Yeah, people see red and start screaming recessions. It's very common. It's human nature, I think. A lot of the time, like, I talk about it a lot where you get stuff like this. You know, you get market moves like this, and I'll show you the actual chart in a second. You get market moves like this. And then when you get a little red pullback like this, they say, see, my crash predictions were right. And again, that's genuinely what we have right now. I don't know how many people, like, look at this. Here's the Q on the right side. People are literally saying it's the end of the world right now because of this right here. Literally this. And again, I think people have to understand how to look at a long-term chart. You know, I think people, again, I understand like certain people are pessimistic. You know, they watch the movie The Big Short with Michael Burry and they idolize and romanticize that. And like they want to be the next big market crash predictor. I understand that nuance of markets. But like, you got to understand, you're betting against edge trying to do that. Like Michael Burry got one right in 2008. He's made a bunch of crash predictions since then. He's been wrong every freaking time. He's made like 20 crash predictions over the last 20 years. He's only been right about one of them. And so, you know, you got to understand, trying to handpick when crashes are going to happen is not easy. And maybe we do get a crash, but we're not there yet. And again, I'm pretty neutral politically. I don't really like shill for any political side. I dislike both sides pretty evenly. I'm very neutral politically. I really am. I don't like either side. And again, what the other nuance that I always talk about is that like I've seen a lot of influencers on social media call big market crashes. You know, and again, they're desperate to be right. Like a lot of these guys call a market crash literally every week. If you look back at their videos, every one of their videos is talking about how the market's going to crash. And so it's confirmation bias. Like they really want to be correct because they know how many videos that they've made calling for a market crash and the market's just going straight up like this, right? Like they've been making these videos since freaking October of last year. And the market has just done this, you know? And so they're desperate to be right. And so any little sliver of red action, they're saying, see, I told you so. This is, you know, the market is dive bombing down, you know, and it's just like, not really, not yet. You know, maybe this is the start of something, but we're certainly not there yet. We'll see. Yeah, I mean, you're not going to get me agreeing or disagreeing with anything politically, brother. I'm just not going to, you know, I'm not trying to attack anybody. Again, I'm not against you conservatives. I'm not against you to the left as well. You know, to the left side, I'm not against y'all either. I'm pretty neutral. I really am pretty neutral. Tesla under the volume weighted average price. We got a little cushion built up. I'll take it. Oh, I feel better today, dude. I don't know what it was the other day, bro, where my stomach was just freaking in knots, dude. It was just in knots. Magnificent Seven. I mean, they're the most successful companies in the world, though. You got Nvidia, Microsoft, Apple, Amazon, Google. What's the other ones? Meta, Tesla. You know, so I mean, these are the most successful companies in the world, though, brother. You know, like I think people like to bet against them because they're big corporations, but like you got to understand these are the most successful companies in the world. It's going to be very hard to make money against these companies on the upside. It just is. Now, I'm not saying you can't. Of course you can. Anybody can if you get the right positions, you get the right stuff. I guess for me, and again, I'm sure you guys already know this, I'm just tired of seeing everybody call a market crash every freaking week on social media. I see influencers that genuinely post a video every week telling everybody the market's going to crash, and at a certain point, it becomes so redundant. Like, how long are y'all going to call market crashes? Again, maybe we crash, maybe we don't, but you would think being so wrong about something for so long would make people stop. You know, I think it's one of those things where you keep throwing darts at a dartboard. Eventually, it's going to stick. Like, eventually, they're going to catch one. But it doesn't mean they're good at predicting it. And you better believe Like when they catch one right, when the market actually does crash, they're going to be sitting there saying, "I told you so." Even though, you know, you call something for 5 years, you can't. I don't think you have the, you know, I don't think you can back that up. But still, they don't get tired of it because it keeps bringing in views. 100%. Yeah. Last year showed us no one knows. No one predicted all-time highs and indexes. Yeah, I mean, I didn't predict all-time highs, but I certainly didn't predict a market crash, and I was actually discouraging the crash predictions. And so, but I'm not even going to try to say I was right. I was right in terms of, like, the market doesn't have to crash. The natural flow of the market is on the upside long term. So I'm right about telling you guys that nobody freaking knows, you know. Netflix usually goes insane when they report their EPS numbers. Yeah, no, Netflix isn't actually the biggest earnings report. So we cover Netflix. I think the problem with Netflix is, like, they release their earnings, but usually it's in a pre-recorded video. So, like, I'll stream all the other big earnings calls. Netflix is one of the ones I never target because I'll cover the actual earnings when they come out. But Netflix does a pre-recorded, like, call. So it's not, instead of it being a live earnings interview with the CEO and stuff, it's usually like a pre-recorded video of some sort. So it's just less exciting. What are your thoughts on AMC? I'm in AMC. I'm holding it. I don't know what to do with it. It's down big. I've been sitting on it. AMC is my largest position right now, believe it or not. It's my largest position, which is kind of crazy, but hey. Let me put a timer up. I forgot to put a timer up. Right now it is 7:40. So we got, 35 minutes, 34 and a half minutes until non-farm employment. Remember, 8:15 is when non-farm employment data comes out, 8:15. On who? Harry? Who? What? What trial? What? Yeah, earnings season starts. Yeah, no, we got about 360 people here, JT. You might have to refresh to see it, brother. I have a day in the life video, though. So I do have a day in the life video, actually. I gotta work on more video content. That's my resolution for 2024. You know, and again, if you want to see my system on funding quickly on Topstep, you know, this is a video on getting funded quickly. We got funded yesterday. Yeah, I think the problem with a lot of the day in the life videos is this, right? The problem with a lot of the day in the life videos is this, is that they sensationalize the market, where it's like, I've seen some videos specifically by like, I think like Honest Trader or whatever her name is, and I like her content. She's got good content, right? But sometimes like they're jumping out of bed and they're like, oh, we got this big play going on right now, and they're shooting out of bed and they're running up to their computer and they're like, oh, what's going on? Type. You know what I mean? And like, it just is not how it really goes. Like, trading is much more boring than that. It's mostly like getting up, making a cup of coffee, putting on your computer, looking at charts quietly, you know, towards a little bit closer to the open. Then you might start like taking bigger trades and doing whatever you got to do. But like, it's certainly not something where you're shooting out of bed like, the trade's on, do it now. It's just not accurate. It's just not how it really goes. It's sensationalizing it for videos, unfortunately. I do have a day in the life of a video, but mine's a day in the life of a day trading YouTuber is what it's called. And it talks about like my monthly process and like my daily processes. It's pretty good. If you want to watch it, it's somewhere. I don't know where it is. Oh, you're talking about Young Thug's trial? I haven't really been watching that one. Video Google back overview up. Oh, JetBlue Spirit Airlines merger trial. Okay, gotcha. Yeah, so my equities are now technically green on the day, so that's nice. Did I do a poll today? I don't think I did. Let's do one. All right, guys, so we got the poll going live. It says, does today's jobless claims and non-farm data cause bullish or bearish market action? Vote on that poll. Let me know how you feel. We got 30 minutes before non-farm employment data. Apple, if Apple dips enough, I'll buy it. I think Apple's going to be super strong. So it's one of those stocks that I just kind of average into. If it drops long enough, I might actually buy a little bit. Yeah, we bought a little bit more. What the heck? It's a new year. We can take some positions and sit on them long if we need to. Yeah, there's my day in the life of a day trading YouTuber video. All right, team. I'm looking up other news. Huh. All right, guys. Hey, what's up, Manny? Crypto crash yesterday was so stupid. I don't even know if I'd consider it a crash. It was just a big pullback. Again, Matrix Port putting out that article is what it was. Yeah. Germany CPI data, we'll see. You look too young there? Yeah, it was a few years ago. Q still over that previous close, trying to go, oops, go out the way. Part of me wants to short the Q here, but we do have a bear flag on a 5-minute chart. I'm wondering if I should short this. Choppiness. Is the Topstep website down? I don't think so. What's down about it? It ain't down for me. They do have a sale going on right now, guys. And again, I'm going to say this again. Right now, they have a huge sale going on. I'll put the link up. If you use promo code New Year 2024 for a huge discount, you get the base combine for like $25. They are a sponsor of mine, of course, so I'm biased. But yeah, you can check it out. All right, team. So, again, part of me wants to short. I don't know what to do. I guess I'm just waiting. Man. Bro, these divers are more brave than I am, dude. Dude, Phil Hellmuth, he's getting old, bro. Intel is dragging my account. Pretty lethargic market. Well, we're down. We're not crazy down, but we're down a little bit. So you wonder where the extension is. We got 20 plus minutes before we got non-farm employment data. Again, 8:15 is when this data comes out. 8:15. Heard about Topstep too late, unfortunately. What do you mean? The code still works. I tried it this morning. Again, if you don't believe me, look. Let me make sure it doesn't show my like credit card number here real quick. All right, Quant Tower. Okay, it does. But like, look, New Year 2024, apply, boom. So yeah, right now you get this discount. You get that discount if it's for the larger combine. How much is the larger combine here? Let's see. 150K combine right now is only $74. Cheap. Yeah, use promo code New Year 2024 at checkout. Again, I put the link up. You can check out the link in the description. It says the promo code you use. Check out the link in the description, team. Oh. Yeah, man, I wish more people met you and fond about you. I mean, we get a pretty good amount of people here. It just depends. Like our normal streams like this, you know, yesterday, as an example, we had like 4,000 people watching during the FOMC minutes report. And so we get some pretty good views. Like my viewership isn't low at all, you know. And I mean, for a channel that's basically run by just me, I'm very happy with it. Like we get a lot of big time networks that we're very competitive view wise with, and so for being just me to be able to compete with like big networks, you know, with just me, I'm pretty proud of that. I'm happy about that for sure. Some streams are even bigger than CNN. Yeah, we get bigger streams than like Bloomberg. It depends on what it is. Like during big FOMC meetings, CPI reports, Jerome Powell press conferences, we have a lot more people here versus other channels too. I think that's what people realize, is that we're like a one-stop shop for economic data, you know, Fed interviews, stuff like that. I think people realize that they could always watch it here. All right, team. I should have shorted. Remember I said I wanted to short here at this previous closing price? I freaking should have, man. Ah, it hurts. It hurts. Hey, y'all slap that like button. Hit the subscribe button. Right now we have... How many likes we have? We have 98 likes. We need 2 more to break 100. Do it now. Hey, there we go. It's the core stuff. Yeah, I mean, we're not just trading anymore. We're economic reports, you know, earnings. Like some of my biggest streams, like what really started growing my channel from like a trading channel to an economic channel is earnings. Like we started streaming Apple earnings and Amazon earnings and Google earnings. And that's where we really started to take off and grow, was there. But like I was telling the guy earlier who was kind of trying to shill his own stream, the way you grow isn't by going to other people's stream and kind of like forcing them to see your comments, plug in other channels. That's just not the way you grow. I understand why like new YouTubers might think it is, but it's not. The way you grow is like find a niche, attack that niche before it's saturated. You know, somebody tries to do the same thing as me now, they're probably going to be not getting that much because it's saturated. You know, we got in early. You know, we got in before the trend. And so you got to figure out what your version of that. You got to get in before the trend in some ways, you know. Where's Intel at right now? I see Apple rejecting here, heading down. Intel down big today. It's kind of, look at Nvidia too. Like Nvidia was all the way up to 479s. Nvidia's still at the top. You know, everybody trying to act like we're just in some end of the world scenario. We're down, but again, you pull out a daily chart, you can see how strong Nvidia still is. And so Nvidia has this really common thing where, again, it pushes up so much, and then when we have a small pullback, everybody's like, aha, see? And it's like, maybe. I think the weaker one this morning is Intel. Look at Intel. Intel is, there's the Q breaking down. There's Intel. So Intel has had a pretty sizable dip. If you look at it on a shorter term basis, Intel is just dumping down. Does anybody know why Intel is down so much? We got 15 minutes, guys, until non-farm employment data. All right, so again, Mobileye global shares are crashing this morning. It's an autonomous driving system company. It said it expects 50% decrease in revenue in the first quarter of the year. It's also a blow to its former parent and majority shareholder, Intel. And so that is why Intel is down. One of their holdings is going to have 50% decrease in revenue potentially this year, according to the company themselves. So one of their big holdings in Intel, which is a company called Mobileye. Mobileye. Mobileye is symbol MBLY. You can see this is really what's dropping Intel down. MBLY is all the way down to 28s from $40. So it's down basically, it's down 25% today. So down 25%. Very big drop. That is dragging Intel down, which is negatively affecting chips, even though Nvidia is up some. So there's Nvidia. Nvidia still at 477s this morning. Kathy Woods, when Intel is dippy enough to dip by it. Yeah, it's definitely one of the top 3 dippiest dips in the world right now. I should have shorted, guys. I was talking about shorting it. I should have, man. All right, guys. Hey, we got 13 minutes, 12 minutes. I don't know. I remember wanting to buy Intel at the 25 level, and I was in it for a while, and then I cut it. And it looks like 25 was the bottom. I don't think it's time to buy it yet for me personally. Can you tell me how the numbers of non-farm will influence equities in your point of view? I have no idea, Daniel. Number one, nobody knows what the numbers are actually going to be. Number two, nobody knows how the market's going to interpret those numbers, meaning non-farm employment numbers are job numbers, right? The market might still fear jobs and still fear the labor market's strength. And so it could be a nuance in which higher than expected non-farm payroll numbers are going to negatively affect the market because it means more economic strength and inflation fears. It could also be the other side of that, where non-farm payroll numbers or non-farm employment numbers coming in higher than expected could be a positive thing if the market's back to convention and the market wants a stronger labor market. I don't know if that's the case, though. I know Jerome Powell specifically stated that the labor market was too robust, in his words. And so it could be something where the market fears or pushes for higher job numbers. And I'm not sure what the market's going to do there. So I guess my point, the overarching point, is that I don't know how the market's going to respond to a stronger labor market. And so I don't know if the market wants higher or lower right now. Nobody really does. And it's certainly been up in the air, especially with the FOMC minutes report yesterday. Yeah, we'll see. I'm ready. Bottom of the range here on the NASDAQ, maybe. We're definitely at the bottom of the range here on the Q as well. Like, here's the range bottom. Low of the day, low of the last couple days. Right here. So we got a cushion on the day. Yeah, no worries, Daniel. All right, so we still got 10 minutes here, team. Still got 10 minutes. All right, so we just made another 50 bucks scalping the NASDAQ here. We are up about 150 on the day, 3-to-1 win-loss ratio. So we will take that. Apple reclaiming VWAP. Yeah, I basically bet on the downside. Here's a 5-minute chart. Again, I talked about this strategy a lot yesterday, and I hope this strategy makes sense. It's something that I genuinely use a lot, where I look for a bottom range. Remember, I always talk about this being kind of like a magnet, right? Like low and high of the day levels being kind of like a magnet in which you get upward price action, you dip down a little bit, testing these lows, and then you bounce a little bit, and then I short this and attack the low level here. So I'm trying to cover here, and that's what I did. And so again, I'm kind of piggybacking on all this weakness for us to go all the way up to the VWAP here and all the way up to the previous closing price to get rejected exactly off of that and come all the way back down. That's a very weak sign. And so instead of attacking, just shorting the low of the day here, which is kind of what I'm doing, but instead of attacking a blind short there, instead I am piggybacking off of that move and waiting for a small bounce up to have a little bit higher edge. So I'm waiting for a small bounce up, and then I'm shorting into that and then attacking the bottom of that range, because a lot of the time we're at least going to retest that level right there. Even if we don't break it, like a lot of the time we're going to retest it. And if we break down more, great. And if not, I can get a very high accuracy trade. That's the logic of that trade there. And again, we got a nice little cushion up over 150 early this morning in our actual funded account. Apple bouncing up right now. I don't know if this is a rogue order getting filled or if this is actual price action for Apple. It doesn't look like it's a real order. I'm guessing after this candle it might correct all the way back down and be a phantom candle. Yeah, there we go. So yeah, that's exactly what I thought. You can see it live as it happened. I called that live. Like, this is just a phantom candle from the 8 a.m. scrum happening, which is just a bunch of rogue orders getting filled from overnight. All right, we got about 600 people here. All right, guys. me figure out chat. All right, so we did break down under that level here. All right, so big breakdown here. Apple flushing at that 200 EMA volume weighted average price. You see the Q down there as well. We're going to throw this thing in sub only mode. We got over 600 people here live, so we're going to throw this in sub only mode. So subscribe if you haven't yet, team. We appreciate it. Tesla opinion. Yeah, Tesla dipping down. Yeah. Yeah, these female traders get a huge advantage over us. Apple breaking down here is what's going on. And listen, I'm supportive. I hope they succeed. But bro, honestly, I can't even get mad. If I was, I wish I could get views like that, where if I was just a female, I'd post a pretty picture of myself in a thumbnail and just rake in the views, man. Just grow 5 times faster than anybody else. Hey, I'm for it, man. Cheers to them, Apple got downgraded. Yeah, I'm looking at Apple right now. We added a little bit to our Apple trade this morning, but again, Apple's one of those trades I'll keep adding to them. Like, all right, so Apple got another downgrade as iPhone doldrums could continue. Second downgrade of the year. Piper Sandler lowered his rating on the tech company to neutral from overweight, citing concerns about valuations as well as pressures on the smartphone market is what happened here. So it's an Apple downgrade. We're going to put that up. Q bouncing back a little bit, but with Apple's downgrade, it could be bad for them. The only reason we got non-farm data dropping in a minute. 1 minute. I'm going to pause this because the timer's just a little bit off. Make sure you hit the live button next to the play button. Make sure you're fully caught up on stream. Yeah, the pretty privilege. I love it. That's a great way. All right, so look at Apple bounce up. Here we go, guys. Here we go. We got 30 seconds here, team. 30 seconds. Let's see what non-farm data shows. All right, guys. Let's see what non-farm data shows. 115 is what's expected. 115 is what's expected. Again, we got 10 seconds. Hit the live button next to the play button. Make sure you're fully caught up. 115 is what's expected for non-farm data. Here we go. 115. Let's see if these impact the markets. And here's the release right now. 164, way higher than expected. Prelim non-farm data is 164,000 versus 115. Again, you hear it here first. We cover this before everybody else. 164K for non-farm employment data. 164K is what showed up. Very, very big beat here for non-farm data. Again, I don't know if you want to call it a beat. The market might not love it. The Q hasn't really reacted much to it, but these are much bigger numbers percentage-wise than expected here. And the market's actually going up. So maybe the market's in a period where it wants more economic growth. But again, 164 versus 115 expected here. I'm kind of bearish on these numbers. I think the market might not like this data. So there's the non-farm employment data. Love you. Have a good day. All right, guys. Again, I don't think the market might. I'm going to go ahead and make a little mini bet that the market doesn't want this. Maybe a risky bet. All right, so there goes the ADP non-farm data here. 164K versus 115 expected. 164K versus 115 expected. All right, boom. We are shorting this. I'm going to go ahead and cover that. So we just got out. We shorted this and just made a bunch on our funded account. Nice. So again, I thought the market wouldn't, like this report. And we made money on it. We bet our money on it. And so this is our account today. We are up about 270 in our Express funded account today. We will take that. Let me get out of some of these. There we go. All right, so again, yeah, I'm not going to be specific about what source, I get it, but we cover it very quickly here. We covered that literally the moment it was released, so you're welcome, guys. 164K. Now we have jobless claims numbers coming out. So jobless claims numbers release at 8:30. Jobless claims numbers come out at 8:30 today, guys, so be ready. Jobless claims, unemployment filings drop in a couple minutes here. Apple bouncing back nicely from it too. And remember, guys, we do have a sale going on today on Topstep. If you enter promo code New Year 2024, it gives you huge discounts, like 50% off what normally was. So you can get the Topstep Combine for $24.50 right now for the base one, and $75 basically for the 150K Combine. A huge sale going on Topstep right now. You can use this promo code. We'll put it up in chat. There's the link. You can also find the link in the description. Again, New Year 2024 promo. But the Q and the SPY moving up a little bit, which is interesting. Maybe the market is in a period where it now wants economic growth, where it wants more people working and more people spending. That might be the current market. What do you guys think? Do you think the market wants or doesn't want economic growth and strength? Let me know. Is it limited to one, Yair? Let me try. I'll try buy another one, see if it lets me. I always scoop some up at these cheap prices, like no matter what. Let me see. I'll try it for you. I'll test it out. Let's try the 150K one. No, it works. Oh, no, it doesn't work. Yeah, y'all are right. You're right. User limit reached. Boo. Boo. I would recommend using it on the 150K Combine, though. If you're going to use it on the 150K one, in my opinion. Gold mostly reacting like stocks. We can put the NASDAQ up here. Again, I thought the NASDAQ wouldn't like this. And so a little bit of a delayed reaction, but we are dropping down now. The next report is the jobless claims unemployment filings. It drops in about 10 minutes. About 10 minutes. Yeah, I mean, that's not the one I use, Spawn. But, I mean, y'all can check that one out. Higher production would equal lower unemployment, right? Well, the unemployment numbers are going to be... more relevant for that. Payroll numbers are basically job numbers as well, but a little bit different. I'm not sure when the promo ends. I think everybody gets one, is what it is. Well, no, I understand more production equals higher inflation, 100%. I'm not disagreeing with you there. More economic growth means more inflation, of course. And so that's one of the reasons the market has not wanted economic growth. And again, this is how I thought the market would respond. Remember, when these numbers came out for payrolls much higher than expected, what did I do? I shorted the market on the bounce. You know, and again, now we are up on the day in our funded account. $300 basically, $270, because again, we shorted when it was bouncing, because again, I had the same sentiment, Ethan. Yeah, all good, brother. I'm just kind of talking about it. So I had the same sentiment where we bounced and I was bearish. Why was I bearish? Because more payrolls equals more inflation, and inflation fears are looming, and the jobs market has been too resilient, too robust, according to Powell. And so yeah, that's kind of where we're at with that. All right, guys. Hey, we got 9 minutes, 8 minutes here. Big rejection candle here for sure. Big rejection candle. Again, slap the like button, hit the subscribe button, guys. We got almost 900 people here watching live. We still got 8 minutes or so until this data report comes out. 58% are bullish on today's economic reports. So good is still bad? Yeah, basically. In terms of jobs specifically, good is still bad and bad is still good for sure. You know, again, Powell specifically stated the labor market was too robust. It was too strong. And so, yeah, bad is good still. Let me take the sweater off. I'm hot. It is hot in here. It is hot in here. Oh, my millennials know that song. All right. Whew. All right, so we are live here. There you go. You got it. Nice work, bro. Here, hold on, guys. Hey.
Hello.
My son's here. Thank you, buddy. Love you, man. Have a great day, bud. Yeah, thank you, buddy. No, that's good. That's what I say too, buddy. It's all right. All right, bud. Have a great day, man.
All right, buddy. Go get in the car. Grab your backpack.
All right. You want to come sit here? All right, sorry. Sorry, I had to mute it. Was talking to my wife. Yeah, it's my son's first day back at school. It's a long story. He hadn't been at school. We've been homeschooling him for a couple months, so it's his first day back. It's an exciting day. That's why I kind of told him. That's why I said it a couple times, because I'm excited for him to go back. All right, team. We got about 900 people here. We got 5 minutes left. Peloton up a little bit today. I hate Peloton as a company. I just dislike them. I don't think they're going to be a strong company long term. I think they're going to lose money. I think their margins are bad. I think the company overall has overproduced things that people don't necessarily want or need. I just don't like Peloton as a company. No, I don't ever use stock twits. Yeah, of course I'm excited for him to go back. Any parent understands that quote with obvious, with obvious understanding there. Every parent, I love my kids, but I'm definitely ready for them to go back, All right, guys. Hey, we got about 1,000 people here live. 5 minutes. Gold right now. A lot of people talking about gold. We got the NASDAQ on the left side dipping down a little bit. Here's gold on the right. Gold at 2050. Holding right at that previous closing price, technically green on the day. Why isn't the Q and ES moving in the same direction? Well, the E-mini is less tech heavy. They both are moving the same direction. They're both moving down. They're both red on the day, moving down. NASDAQ is down more because it's more tech heavy, and so tech stocks like Apple are moving down in a more profound way relative to others. So that's what's going on. Apple bouncing a little bit, so we'll see if that holds. All right, we got about 1,000 people here live. Slap that like button if you haven't already, guys. We're going to get ready. Again, we cover this data very quickly, so if you want to know why we get 1,000 plus people here for these reports, is because we cover it fast. And so if you want to join us for that, hit that subscribe button, hit the notification bell. You'll get an alert anytime we go live on stream. Jobless claims expected at 216K. 216,000 is what jobless claims numbers are expected at. Will we hit that or not? It drops in less than 4 minutes, and about 3.5 minutes for jobless claims. Again, 216K. If you don't know what jobless claims are, it's how many people are filing for unemployment. How many people are filing for unemployment? 216K is the even number, the expected number. If we come in over 216, it means more people filing for unemployment, i.e., less people working, which might be seen as a positive, especially with the reaction to payroll numbers. It might not be as well. We could be back to convention in which the market reacts negatively to that. Or if we come in under the expected number for jobless claims, it means more people working and the market might react negatively to that because, the market doesn't want more people working and spending right now because of inflation fears. That's the nuance right now. Again, if we look at payroll numbers, we did have a negative reaction to it, although it is a slight negative reaction, and payroll numbers came in much higher than expected. So basically, I think the market fears employment right now still. I think the market fears jobs, and the market in jobs is too robust, according to the Fed. And so an interesting market right now. We got 2 minutes here, team, 2 minutes. Yeah, and anybody arguing with me about what the expected number is doesn't understand markets, because again, it's going to vary depending on what analyst you look at. So it could be 216, you might have it in there at 219. It's all, basically analyst expectations that vary. Same thing with EPS and earnings and other stuff. It's just analysts. All right, guys, we got 2 minutes. 2 minutes. We got 1,000 people here live. Hey, congrats, Justin. Nice, brother. What do you think the number's going to show up as, guys? What do you think the number's going to show up as? I don't know whether you should buy or sell gold. I don't know why people keep asking that question. I'm going to start banning people who ask that question because I'm going to assume they're bots. I really have no idea if you should buy or sell gold. All right, 225, 235 is what they're expecting, 225. All right, again, let me know your expectations right now in chat. We got over a minute left. We got about a minute. Again, make sure you hit the live button next to the play button. You want to make sure your live button looks like this. Again, you want to make sure your live button has a red dot next to it. That means you're fully caught up. You can also put it in fast forward mode if it helps. Fast forward, which will keep you fully up to date. Again, 50 seconds. 50 seconds. SPY testing the previous closing price SPY testing the 200 EMA and the volume weighted average price. All right, guys, here we go. 20 seconds, 20 seconds. All right, get your last minute predictions out. 15 seconds here, guys. 15 seconds. The NASDAQ in an obvious downward trend. Ten seconds. All right, guys, let's do this. Let's see what we get. 216 is what's expected. 216. All right, here we go. And there's the report. 202 is what expected. Way less than expected jobless claims. Way less than expected. 202 versus 216. Initially, the market has reacted negatively on the Q and the NASDAQ, probably because the market does not want more people working and spending because of inflation problems. You can see the NASDAQ breaking down. Again, we came in at 202 versus 216. 202,000 versus 216. Again, subscribe. We cover this data very quickly, like we always tell you. We'll put this number up on screen now. 202 versus 216 expected. Way less people filing for unemployment, more people working. The market has reacted negatively to this report so far. 202 versus 216 expected. Much lower than expected jobless claims, meaning more people filing, or less people filing for unemployment, guys. Less people filing for unemployment. And so again, subscribe. We cover this data very quickly. Market initially reacted negatively here. Again, continuing claims came in lower than expected at 1.855 million versus 1.883 million. But again, lower than expected, 202 versus 216,000. More people working and spending, and that means bad inflation problems potentially. That's why the market's reacting negatively. Again, good is still bad and bad is still good. Inflation still reigns in terms of fears. And in that regard, the market does not want more jobs. The market does not want more people working. The market wants less people working because it means less people spending and less inflation problems. That's the nuance of the market right now. It's one of the reasons, again, a 202 number here, much lower than expected versus 216, means the market reacts negatively to it. Again, for the same reason Powell said the labor market is too robust. And so what does this signal? This signals a stronger labor market than expected, i.e. negative market reactions. That's the nuance, guys. You're welcome. That's the nuance. Yeah, the Fed is not going to like this report. Again, tomorrow we have payroll numbers and unemployment. So tomorrow we get another jobs report. Payroll numbers and unemployment dropping tomorrow. It'll be a really interesting market. Again, look at this breakdown after these numbers here. Again, 202 versus 216 expected. Big breakdown in numbers here. Big breakdown in numbers. Again, the Fed is not going to like this. Fed is not going to like this. All right, so there's the payroll numbers. Big breakdowns here on the NASDAQ, big breakdowns in the SPY. Again, the Fed is not going to like these numbers. Also, guys, remember, if you want to day trade, the cheapest way to do it is in a funded account program with limited risk, okay? If you lose the funded account program, you're only down what you pay for the combine. The most legit funded program in futures is Topstep. They give you a demo in futures. They test your skill. If you could pass the test, they fund you. If you don't pass the test, you're going to lose less than putting the money up yourself. Understand, almost all day traders lose money. And so, if you put up the money yourself, you're probably going to lose it in day trading. And you can't day trade freely with stocks if you have less than $25,000. And so it's very difficult. In the futures market, you can day trade essentially the SPY price action and what's called the E-mini, essentially the QQQ price action and what's called the NASDAQ. Same price action, no PDT rule, and these funded account programs are allowed. Topstep is the most legit one in the world. They give you a demo. The base one's only $25 right now if you use the promo code for your first combine. Only $25 for the base combine right now. You can get the top 150K combine for $75 right now if you use the promo code. No PDT in futures. And again, they're going to give you a demo and test your skill. If you could pass it, great, and you get a 90% split, so you're keeping most of your profit once you pass it anyway. But if you lose, you're going to lose much less than putting up thousands yourself and losing that. It's just the best of both worlds, in my opinion. Great way to learn and just taking the challenge, build your skill. If you want to check it out, here is the link. Again, great way to help support the channel. They are a sponsor of mine. I'm certainly biased in their favor because they pay me money, but again, I think it's good for traders. You can check it out here. Actually, let me get rid of that. That's the wrong quote. Here's the promo code right here. Let's get rid of this one and put up the actual promo code. New Year 2024 is the promo code, and you can use this here to check it out. All right, so we did get a little pop-up. Part of me wants to short this. I'll wait, though. I'll wait. We're already up 300 on the day in our Express funded account, so we got a lot of room to take some swings now at the opening bell if we want to. Look at the SPY bouncing right at that previous closing price, too. Yeah, I mean, that's probably a right move, Tiny. Wait till you're confident. You know what I mean? Paper trade until you're confident enough to take a swing at it. It's all good. Hope you're doing well, Tiny. Good to see you here. All right, so there's the market breaking down. I should have shorted. I wanted to short it. I should have, honestly. Man, that hurts. How does more people working not positively affect the market due to the reasons people have more finances to buy goods and services? Just curious. The logic of your post is correct, Pat. The problem with it is that you're assuming that them being able to buy more goods and services is good right now. Right now, inflation is what people are fearing. And so what happens when you get an abundance of purchasing? Prices go up. Why? Again, I use the same example every time. And the example is, if you're selling bubble gum, right? And say you're selling bubble gum for 25 cents a piece, and you put out 100 pieces of bubble gum and they all sell out by noon. You put another 100 pieces of bubble gum out, they all sell out by 11 a.m. You know, what are you going to start doing? Number one, you're going to start putting out more bubble gum, but you're also going to raise prices because you can. Instead of charging 25 cents, you'll bump it up to 40 or 50 cents a piece. Why? Because you have an abundance of purchasing. You have an abundance of sales. And so you're going to raise prices. Extrapolate that to the current market and economy over a long period of time, and it's going to make inflation rise. The more people that are buying goods and services, inflation's going to go up. And so in that regard, the Fed specifically said one of the obstacles to the U.S. hitting the 2% inflation goal over time is the labor market being too robust. And so when we have payroll numbers coming in much better than expected, much higher than expected, that makes the market go down because people are fearing inflation right now. I'm not sure, Gunny. You want to check it out yourself, brother. I'm not sure, dude. If you're funded, it doesn't matter. Just if it's a combine account, you have the 50% limit. If you're funded, there is no limit, I think. But I would check with them. All right, so NASDAQ consolidating around those lows. I should have shorted it there. I use Quant Tower. Where do you check the live news? I'm not going to be specific about where I check it. Please stop spamming me or you'll get banned pretty quickly here, man. Like, I never understood the people that just spam the same comment over and over again hoping to get an answer. Like, I'm just going to ban you. Again, I'm not going to give my sources up, you know, so other streamers can steal them, but it's not like they're super secret either, you know. Dang, dude, this dude. I see some guy posting a $400,000 loss, basically. He said, I'm still here. Oh, wait, is this a Tim Sykes student? Oh. Here's my problem with some of these gurus here. And again, I don't have anything against anybody specific, and I'm not going to mention any names here. But, like, the problem is, like, okay, a lot of these guys got famous trading in the early 2000s. the strategies are not the same back then versus today. You know, a lot of these penny stock strategies had, like, back in the early 2000s and mid and late 2000s, like, you made money in penny stocks by following newsletters. And so you would get newsletters propping up a lot of these low float penny stocks, and they would pump the stocks higher. And so if you got in early on the newsletter pump, you could make a ton of money doing it. And there's a lot of other strategies. The problem with markets is that strategies don't stay stagnant for that long. Like, you can't use the same strategies today that you used 10 or 15 years ago. I don't care what they say. Like, the strategies are not going to be the same. You know, the market is wildly different than it was back then. And so using results from back then to try to give credibility for today, it's nonsensical, because the market's completely different right now than it was in the early 2000s and mid 2000s. Technology has grown. The amount of traders trading has gone up dramatically because of digital evolution of technology. And so it's something in which a lot of people get stuck. Like, yeah, I mean, it is what it is. I'm trying not to mention names. All right, look at the SPY and the Q both dumping down on these payroll numbers. And so, again, market is very much confirming that it still fears inflation and it does not want more jobs. Market is very much confirming that it still fears inflation and that it does not want more jobs. Yeah, congrats, Joshua. Yeah, what's up, Justin? I know you can buy multiple accounts and copy trades, but can I buy multiple accounts and trade them one at a time? Yeah, I'm pretty sure you could do that. I think on Topstep you can have up to 3 combine accounts, brother. Currently I have 3 funded accounts as well. So I'm pretty sure you can have as many combine accounts as you want, I think. Currently I have 3 funded accounts on Topstep. 3 funded accounts. Although I don't trade them all. Most of the time I just trade one at a time. And again, this is one of them that I'm up 300 today. So we got a 5-to-1 win-loss ratio. I agree a lot, but human psychology is the same or very close to the same. Sure, I mean, human psychology, of course, is similar, and it's been the same way for 100 years. But the strategies and patterns are different. You know what I mean? Because there's more or less volume, there's more nuance to the markets right now than there was 10 or 15 years ago. And so, yeah, I don't know. You guys know me. I'm very much against courses. And I think a lot of the penny stock guys are super predatory, you know, to just traders in general. You know what I mean? And, like, they'll end up, like, a lot of them will end up criticizing funded accounts or whatever it is. But again, like, I have 2 sponsors. Both of them I think are good for traders. And I think they should understand more than anything that most day traders lose money. And so what the funded account programs allow you to do is diversify and limit your risk. You know, because again, I first got started, man. I got started in like 2017, 2016. Trading. And first thing I did was start trading penny stocks. And I put up $4,000 at the time and put it in an overseas brokerage using sketchy 6-to-1 leverage. And I lost all of it within a couple weeks. I've said this story 1,000 times, but I really almost wanted to cry. I genuinely wanted to cry. If $4,000 was like everything I had at the time. Again, at the time I had like a used book business that was earning like, you know, a good income, but it wasn't enough to save like that. So $4,000 to me was a lot at the time, and I lost all of it very, very quickly. Very common story for everybody. And so it's one of the reasons I'm a big believer in like limiting risk using funded accounts, because, you know, you can pay right now you can pay $25, get a combine account. It's a demo account technically, but again, if you lose it, it's not the end of the world. Like, it's not the end of the world. You can reset if you want. You still learn how to trade under pressure. But number one, it does something. I think a lot of people are going to do this. And I think this is good for traders. I think a lot of people are going to buy these combine accounts, fail at it, and then give up trading. And I think that's good. I think that's necessary, because the other option would be to put up $5, $10, $15, $20, $25,000 and lose that and then give up trading. I would rather them limit their risk, lose a funded account and say, screw this, I'm not into it, than put up $20,000 plus trying to day trade actual stocks in the stock market to get around the PDT rule and lose that and then say, screw it, I'm not doing it anymore. And I think both of the things are pretty common. But I think one is obviously better than the other, which is limiting the risk keeping losses in the beginning small. And I think that's a powerful thing that new traders need to understand. I think a lot of new traders have delusions of grandeur where they think that they're just going to enter the market. You know, their spouse, their girlfriend, their wife, whomever is telling them that they shouldn't do it. And they're saying, I'm going to prove everybody wrong. I'm going to show everybody how smart I am and about how I can beat the market. And I'm going to show everybody how smart I am. And so they end up just desperately trying to make all this money, and they end up losing everything. And it ends up making their mental state worse is what happens. It makes their mental state worse. And so it's something I see a lot. Yeah, Sure Trader is what it was, dude. Again, I lost a lot using Sure Trader. So if you use the promo code, again, look at the link in the description. It's only for one time. And so again, the promo code only works once. And so if it were me and I could start over again, I would buy the 150K combine for 75 bucks right now. But that's just me personally. Do what you guys do. But you know, you can use it once. And again, you get 50% off. So you get the 150K combine for 75 bucks right now. And of course, they're a sponsor. I'm biased because they pay me money. But, you know. I'm pretty sure they do, Soldier, but I'm not 100%. I would reach out to them, bro. And again, I'm one of the only people telling you, look, I'm biased in their favor because they pay me money. You know what I mean? They're one of two sponsors that I have. I can't guarantee anything, but again, I genuinely think it's good for traders for the exact same reason I just talked about, which is that, again, some traders are going to try it, lose, and then give up. And I think that's good because if not, they would lose thousands of dollars. You know, the other side of that is they would lose thousands of dollars. And that's what the people who are hating on these funded account programs never tell you. They don't tell you how much you're going to lose if you put the money up yourself. Most of them are just bitter because they lose, which is most traders. It doesn't matter whether you're on Topstep or Toss. Most day traders lose. And so you could either try to look cool putting the money up yourself, trying to show everybody, or you can limit your risk. If you fail, it's not the end of the world. I don't know the best platform in Europe. I'm from Louisiana, brother. I'm in the U.S. I have no idea about, you know. $100K day trading as inheritance. I haven't withdrawn yet, but I'm trying to save up. So I do have my 5 winning days in a row already. So I already have my 5 winning days. I'm trying to hit the 5,000 withdrawal club. And so I'm kind of slow and steady there. But again, also my TOS account's 50+ thousand. You know what I mean? So it's like, I don't even need to get funded. I'm using it anyway. But I think most people aren't like that, though, and most people can benefit from the funding. All right, so market's starting to bounce back up again. I'm tempted to short. You can see the SPY is actually technically green on the day right now. So the SPY actually technically green on the day. All right, guys, we got the opening bell in about 40 minutes. Entry with gold. Yeah, let's see where gold is at. Let me see. Gold pushed up to 2050. Still technically red on the day. We are getting a pretty big bounce back. Yeah, for sure, 100%. T. Yeah, market's bouncing up again. Part of me does want to again, part of me does want to see what a short might do here. It's a little bit too late, I guess, though. I think the time to short was right here. You know, guys, I'm going to just talk about Chart Prime in this way, too. Like, check out Chart Prime. Trading view service you can use in stocks, crypto, Forex, futures. Just genuinely useful, and you can see why. Like, look, I can't fake this. Check out the strong signals. Again, check out the strong signals. Number one, all of them work. Let's back test this really quick. So this is a sponsor of mine as well. It's a trading view service. Gives custom indicators, custom alerts. This is called the Market Oracle Pro and the Market Dynamics. But look at this. So buy signal would have worked. Strong signal, powerful signals. Look at this big breakdown. And this is a 1 minute chart. So this is kind of like a day trading scalping chart. So that's 2 for 2, 3 for 3. This buy signal works. 4 for 4, 5 for 5, 6 for 6, 7 for 7. Again, look at the strong signals. 8 for 8. Look at the big breakdown from the strong signal. Buy signal worked. This one you could say it didn't work, so that's 1. That one worked. And look at the strong signal again. Boom. Big breakdowns from this chart. And so again, we had 1 that didn't work out of all of these today. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12. 1 out of 12 didn't work today on the NASDAQ. And again, I can't fake this. I can't guarantee you're going to make money. And again, they are a sponsor of mine as well. But powerful, I think, in my opinion. Powerful. Check them out. You know, there's a lot of other cool stuff too. But again, they're a sponsor of mine, so of course I'm biased. We try to do all our plugs towards the end of the day or the middle of the day. We don't plug anything for the first few hours, but today was a little different because Topstep had that sale going on. The question: who's the player that has done the most for poker? Phil Hellmuth, Daniel Negreanu, Chris Moneymaker. I gotta go with Moneymaker. Again, Moneymaker ignited the poker boom. I like Hellmuth as well. Everybody gives Hellmuth some heat, but like he's a solid poker player, of course. He's actually one of the most winningest players in poker ever. I also got to go with like Phil Ivey. You know, Phil Ivey is really solid, of course. And I'm sure there's some more in this list, but Phil Ivey's probably my favorite player. Him or Daniel, who I think are the most skilled players. For sure, Daniel in live poker, not necessarily online poker. Same thing with Ivey, but in live poker, they're some of the greats. All right. My favorite is Daniel by far. Makes it so much more fun to watch. Daniel just won the first high roller tourney of 2024. That doesn't seem like a big win though, Daniel. So 10,000 buy-in, only to win 218. I mean, of course, he's 22xing his money, but like for a high roller competition, you think the winnings would be more than that. I guess it depends on how many people entered, but yeah, there's services and non-manufacturing PMI this evening, or this late this morning. Who was the old guy that wears the cowboy hat? He passed away recently. You're talking about Brunson? I know his name. Doyle Brunson. Doyle Brunson passed away, is who it was. Rest in peace. Yeah, I said his name wrong, really. But yeah, he passed away. He's an OG card player. Yeah, Daniel's really good at reads and analysis. Yeah, so today, again, we got services and manufacturing PMI data coming up. Yeah, but I mean, again, people that don't understand poker are going to think that poker is just blind gambling. But again, it comes from a fundamental misunderstanding of, yeah, I mean, Chris Ferguson is the another cowboy hat guy. He got involved in the full tilt poker scandal, so you don't hear from him very much. But anyways, people that don't understand poker think it's just pure gambling, and it's not. It's very similar to day trading. In fact, it's very similar to day trading and trading in general. Again, poker is partly a game of skill. Now there's variance, but it does boil down to skill, without question. You could look at the most winningest poker players of all time, and you'll notice something: they keep winning most of the time. Why do you think the same poker players consistently get to the top of tourneys? You know, it's because it does have to do with skill. There's a lot of skill involved with poker. Of course, there's variance. It depends on your definition of gambling, but there is variance. But you have to think about it like this, right? Like calculating pot odds in poker is the same thing as calculating risk reward in trading. An example of this is like a high risk reward, low odd position in trading. So like if I can get into a position that I'm going to lose at I'm going to lose more than 50% of the time. Say I'm going to lose 60% of the time in a position, but my risk reward ratio, my reward to risk ratio is 10 to 1. It still might be it's still going to be justifiable for me to enter that position, even if I'm winning a little bit less than 50%. Because again, the times that I do win are going to be a plus EV situation for me, plus expected value situation. And so it's still going to be worth it for me. It's the same thing in poker. If you have 2-7 offsuit, which is the worst hand in poker, right? Or let's give a little bit better hand. Say you have 5-8 suited, right? Typically a bad hand that you don't want to play, 5-8 suited. But if 10 people enter the pot and limp into the pot, and there's $100 in the pot, and you only have to put $10 up to win, you got 10 to 1 odds there. You got 10 to 1 pot odds. And so in that situation, even though your hand's not great, it still makes sense to put that $10 in, because if you win, you're going to win so much money, right? In some situations, that's the same thing in trading, where you might not have A+ situations, but it's still going to be worth it to take them every now and then. Now, another similarity is variance. Like you might do everything right in trading, get in the most A+ setup and still lose. Similar to poker, you might get in with pocket aces and get beat by 2-3 suited. You know what I mean? And so there's a lot of correlations and similarities in poker and trading, and they're both based around mathematics. They're both based around mathematics. Trading is based around math. poker is based around math, and mathematic majors and skilled mathematicians love poker for a reason, is because it is a game of skill to a certain extent. But a lot of people don't understand it, you know. So I hope all that makes sense. But again, it really is true. I'm a big poker player. I played poker before I got into trading. But poker is a game of mathematics. Don't get it twisted. You know, it really is. A lot of people don't understand it. I mean, Max, I do use them. I have 4 monitors, brother. So y'all see 1 out of 4 monitors. So I'm doing a lot of stuff in the background that y'all don't see. Yeah, variance is real. You know, again, you might do everything right and still lose. But you know, that's part of it. The point is, though, if you're making the correct decisions, regardless of short-term variance, over the long run, you'll make money in poker if you do everything correctly. Same thing with, you know, in the long run, you're going to win with pocket aces, even if any individual hand you get, you know, negative variance. Yeah, I've only played live poker a couple times, believe it or not. It's almost all online. I went to Harris in New Orleans a few years ago. And again, I went there and I had a couple $100 to play with at the casino. And again, I was a poker player at the time, so I sat down at limit poker. It wasn't no limit, it was limit poker. And bro, I had the best freaking run of hands that I've ever had in my life, dude. I sit down, first 2 hands, I flop a full house immediately. Get almost this, just continue to bet into this guy because he kept calling me, and won a bunch of money relative to my buy-in. Like, I think I doubled my buy-in in the first 2 hands. Like my 3rd or 4th hand, I got quad aces, which is a very, very rare hand to have, and very, very rare hand to have is quad aces. And somebody else had a full house, and they just kept betting. I kept calling, and then I went all in at the end and got all of their money as well. And I ended up taking like a couple $100 and turning it into like $600 or $800. I was in New Orleans for a wedding. And then I was ready to leave. I'm the type of person that I don't really like gambling like that in a casino. Like, I'll play poker. I might play blackjack, but I usually don't even play blackjack. I'll just play poker. And so I was ready to cash out. I literally sat down, and within 20 minutes I cashed out. Everybody was kind of mad at me at the table because I kind of took all their money and ran. But Carol wanted to play Baccarat and play slot machines, and I was very much against it, but like I was on a date with my wife, and so we kind of went and played Baccarat. I have no idea how to play Baccarat, so I ended up losing a lot of it because Carol wanted to stay, but I was ready to roll out. I was ready to get my money and run, which is always the right move at a casino, is to get out of there when you're up. You know, that's what they don't want you to do. They don't put clocks in a casino because they don't want you to see what time it is, so you leave. They want you to stay there. The river aces always hurt you too. You've got like top pair with a king or something. You catch that river ace, it's like it hurts. All right, market's still starting to break down. I think this looks like a bear flag in all honesty. I think we got this obvious trend since payroll numbers, and I think we should draw it out right here. And let's draw the trend out. I think we have this obvious trend. I don't know how long we're gonna hold here. I guess you could call it a descending trend. I don't know if I like it though. I'm gonna put up the chart prime because chart prime has a little bit better charting here. And again, we've made some money already. We're up 300 plus in our funded account today. Let's put this up. Alright, so this is a little trend we could probably look at. There we go. We might have a thinner trend, but I think this is the longer term downtrend that we see right now on the charts. We'll see if it holds. Yeah, we do have PMI data coming out. We'll put the numbers up. .45 a.m. All right, so yeah, we're getting things ready for services and non-manufacturing PMI data. We got a nice little day so far. We'll see if it holds. All right, team. So we got non-manufacturing. So it's the ISM data too. Let's see if we get rid of that. Get rid of that. All right, there we go. All right, so SPY getting kind of choppy right now. Hey, what's up, Abe? Happy New Year, brother. Definitely bearish news. Yeah, no, if I have kings and there's an ace on the flop, I usually bet. You know, I usually bet if there's a re-raise. Sometimes I'll keep going because I think a 3-bet is a little bit more suspect than like a flat call. I think a lot of the time they try to call with aces. But usually if the betting continues, I give up. If they either continue to call or continue to bet, I usually give up. A lot of people get really stubborn with big pocket pairs like kings, queens, jacks. But if there's an ace on the flop, you're most of the time beat. You know, aces are in a lot of people's calling range, and so it's not super reasonable to continue to try to get to showdown with the, I mean, I try to get to showdown if it's cheap, but if it's costing too much of my stack, I just give up. All right, SPY just went technically green on the day. Walgreens earnings are already out. They actually did pretty well. But they gave it a lot back this morning, so they actually turned all the way back down. Now they're technically red on the day. Hey, good luck. Why are NASDAQ futures crashing? Well, nothing's crashing. They're just red. You know, nothing's crashing. They're just red today. But again, like, people tend to sensationalize the market. It's very easy. Like, look. This is the NASDAQ on the year. Like, this top chart is the NASDAQ yearly chart. All right. This latest big dip is this. So, like, really, what I see is a very obvious upward trend. Oh, that's a bad trend line. But I see a very obvious upward trend here. You know, we're not going to just continue to break highs and move forward. We do have a nice little trend here, though. I don't know if it's necessary. For me, it's not super tricky, but I do understand why it's tricky, though. But for me, it's something in which I'm willing to fold any big pocket pair except for aces. Aces I'm stubborn with because you should be stubborn with aces. But it depends on if I have aces and the board comes out a flush board when I don't have that suit in my hand. If it comes like a flush connected board like 7, 8, 9 or like 10 jack queen or something like that, then I'm usually giving up. Unless it's 10 jack queen, I might still hold on and flop a king and hit the straight. But you know, point is, it's all relative to what the board plays out. You know, I'm a big poker player. I love poker. No, I've never read it, Max. Right, that's kind of what I do. I try to anytime I flop an ace, if it's just me and somebody else and I don't have an ace, then I try to bet and, you know, see if I can get them to fold. All right, Bitcoin, guys. Grayscale files registration of securities with the SEC for its spot Bitcoin ETF. All right, team. Crypto pump. Yeah, I'm looking at Bitcoin. Bitcoin hasn't really moved since yesterday's dip. It's technically green on the day, though, so Bitcoin actually is technically green now. You know what? Food I miss is McDonald's. I don't eat McDonald's anymore, but I freaking miss it, dude. McDonald's had. I love McDonald's, man. I still miss it. All right, guys, we got 15 minutes. 15 minutes. I like Five Guys. Again, I don't eat McDonald's anymore. I haven't eaten McDonald's in years, genuinely years. But I miss it. I do miss it. I can't lie. McDonald's had a good, like, guilty pleasure burger. It really did. It had a good guilty pleasure burger. I don't like Taco Bell like that, bro. Everybody always likes Taco Bell. I'm just not a big fan. It's kind of boring, you know? Like, I love tacos. I'm a big, like, Tex-Mex guy. Like, I love tacos. I love enchiladas. I love birria tacos, you know? Sopapillas, churros. Like, I love all that stuff. That's, like, my favorite food in the world. But Taco Bell just never did it for me, you know? Five Guys is good. I do like Five Guys. Yeah. All right, so we're still holding this trend on the NASDAQ here. Same trend that we've drawn. Testing it, though. We are testing this trend, but we're still in it. A 5-minute chart might look a little bit better. Yeah, so here's the trend on a 5. Still at it. We'll see if it holds. Wendy's is all right. Reading this person saying, I ended a friendship today. I feel sad, lost, angry, all at the same time. Sometimes you have such extraordinary differences in values and principles, and it's enough to say, I'm done. Unfortunately, not everyone can stay in your life forever, even if you love them. I got a lot of friends that I'm no longer, like, close with. You grow apart over time. Like, you just grow apart, man. It happens. Like, different interests, different lifestyles. Like, it just makes you grow apart from some people. Doesn't mean you don't have love for those people. But at a certain point, you got to just, you know, do your thing. Like, I hope you succeed. But I'm not trying to hang out with you anymore. You know what I mean? Like, you are who you hang out with. And so if you're doing well, you know, you don't want to hang out with somebody that is going to drag you down, unfortunately. And it depends on whether they have, like again, my best friend in the world lives in Louisiana. Him and I have been close for freaking 30 years, you know, 25 years. But there's other friends that, like, you just grow apart from, you know. And it's all love, man. I have love for them. I hope they do well. But you know, jealousy plays such a factor in friendships, though. It really does. Like, people get weird. They get jealous. Sometimes friends don't really want you to succeed. They certainly don't want you to do better than they are. And if you do, sometimes they turn into, like, secret haters, you know. I lost my best friend during... Man, sorry to hear that. You just stopped rocking with me? That sucks, man. Sorry to hear, bro. People in your life, sometimes you learn from them and their chapter in your life is done. 100%. Yeah, it is what it is. I mean, I got a couple good, like, long-term friends. You know, that's all you need. Perception can kill everything. Yeah, I mean, it is what it is. Oh, jealousy is a huge thing, bro. It really is, man. Like, again, like, I had a lot of friends that, you know, there's some friends that you could kind of see it growing up. Like, we had this one friend who, everything was a competition with him, right? Like, you know, everything was a competition, you know? And so if you did anything better than him, instead of congratulating you and be like, hey man, congrats, like that's great. Instead, he would get weird and say, oh, well, I could do this or I could do this, right? Like, and again, there's a standard of friendship that I have nowadays. I've talked about it before. If my success makes you resentful in any way, you're not my friend, bro. You know? And again, it should be an obvious standard of friendship. But a lot of the time, like, people like look at their friends and they say, hey man, these people aren't happy for me when I do well. They're usually upset, and they're not your friend. Like, they're secretly competitors to you, you know? I had another guy that wanted to be my friend over the last few years. I had a couple of them, actually. You know, and it's a long story. But again, people get weird. They get jealous. They get insecure. You know, they turn into secret haters. And it gets weird, man. It gets weird. All right, guys. Hey, we got 9 minutes. 9 minutes. Yeah, he maybe was. I don't know. It's definitely possible he was, P. Looking back at it, you know, he was one of those people that would just tell everybody how successful he was going to be. You know, he'd tell everybody how successful he was going to be, and usually those are the biggest haters when you get older, you know. And then now he's like not successful at all, really had a struggle, and his life's been a big struggle, you know. What about if your jiu-jitsu is better than theirs? Oh, my jiu-jitsu is definitely better. Definitely better. I would guillotine him in a heartbeat if we rolled. Honestly, I haven't been able to guillotine people. Again, the other day, I guillotined this blue belt at my gym. Right? I guillotined this blue belt at my gym. Afterwards, my black belt coach literally, like, and it was one of I don't know what, I think he was like a part owner or something. But anyways, I guillotined this guy. You know, so I'm rolling with him. Big, like husky, like strong guy, blue belt. And so we start to roll, and I take him down and then get him in turtle, right? And this is with a gi. So I take him down, I get him in turtle, but he's big and strong. And so he keeps trying to like hook my arm and then roll over and drag me down so he can get on top. And so anyways, I kept switching sides from turtle. Like, he would grab my arm, so I would jump around to the other side. He would grab my other arm, so I would jump around to the other side. Eventually, I noticed it was getting stagnant, and so I turned around, grabbed his neck, and guillotined him. And at first it was pretty loose, but I readjusted it, and he ended up trying to roll out of it, and I followed him and rolled into mount. So I'm on top and mount, guillotining him, and eventually I got him to tap. My coach saw. And so afterwards, my coach made a joke. He said, listen, since John's running around guillotining everybody, we're going to do a lesson on guillotines today. And honestly, since that lesson, I haven't been able to guillotine anybody. I came close a couple days ago, but like, that's my move. And, you know, it's been harder to guillotine people now since the coach did the lesson on it. Again, I'm sure if I rolled with old boy, the blue belt, I would probably lose. I actually did roll with him last Friday, and he beat me. I can't remember what he tapped me with. He tapped me with, I feel like it was an arm triangle is what he caught me with. But I rolled with him again, and he got me. So maybe he was just rolling light on me since I'm a white belt. That's certainly possible too. But yeah, guillotine jiu-jitsu's going well. It's been fun, you know. Yeah, definitely top 3 greatest white belts in jiu-jitsu ever in the world for sure. It was fun though. It was fun. It was very nice to have a full class dedicated to beating me. I took it as a note of pride here. I'm taking it, you know. Yeah, it was fun. Apple's down because it got downgraded twice in the last 4 days. So Apple's down because of big downgrades. So we're still in this trend too on the NASDAQ here. You can check it out. Yeah, I've been going for a lot of like Kimuras. You know, like usually I guillotine everybody. But one thing I've been doing is I've been taking people down, getting into side control, and then attacking a Kimura. And really, technically, it's an Americana because it's, yeah. So usually, that's been my go-to lately is Kimuras and Americanas. And then if that doesn't work, you know, I'll try to take their back, get a rear naked choke on them or whatever. But I mean, I've kind of been getting beat up a little bit lately, so it's been I've been rolling with some higher belts, and so it's been fun, but I've been getting beat up a little bit, which is kind of normal, of course, you know. Jiu-jitsu, bro. I actually watched a video on Jiu-jitsu yesterday. It looks so freaking ridiculous. It's the problem with it is that it doesn't have a big enough audience to scale anymore than it is now. Like it's too small of space. There's too little space for Jiu-jitsu. All right, look at the SPY breaking lows here. SPY just broke over that triple bottom on the SPY. Look at the triple bottom right here. We just broke underneath it on the SPY, breaking down. Let's see if the NASDAQ follows suit. What's dragging the SPY down and not the NASDAQ? The NASDAQ's down, but it's not down as much as the SPY is. So what's dragging the S&P down right now? NASDAQ is flushing, though. Still in this trend. We put a 1 minute chart up, actually. That's probably why it doesn't look. Yeah, so actually, I'm sorry. NASDAQ is breaking down as well. Do you think the majority of January will be bearish? I don't know. Nvidia suspiciously green. Yeah, I see the NASDAQ bouncing up a little bit. Nvidia is green on the day. Nvidia's been mostly flat, though. I think a lot of people are waiting for payroll numbers tomorrow. I think the jobs report tomorrow is making a lot of people apprehensive to trade big. Yeah, opening bell's about to be here. Data's already out. We got non-farm payrolls and unemployment tomorrow at 8:30. We have services and non-manufacturing PMI at 9:45 today. At 9:45. So those two drop at 9:45 today, and then that's basically it. We don't really have much else. See, part of me wants to short the SPY, but I also think it's kind of extended too much on the downside here today. You know? Yeah, I usually look at gold futures. Hey, good luck, Texas. Fake out crucial spot here. I think we're down a little bit too much. Yeah, we got oil numbers, crude oil inventories. But I don't usually cover that much. I like this song. This song's nice. We got 20 seconds left. Again, hit the live button next to the play button. We got the SPY bouncing up a little bit ahead of the opening bell today. All right, there's the opening bell here. There's the opening bell. We got some breakdowns in the SPY. We got some breakdowns in the NASDAQ so far at the opening bell. We're going to watch Apple, Amazon, Tesla. Apple moving up a little bit at the open. Let's see if we get a pop. Nvidia shooting up, about to test the highs of the day here. It's at 478s, 479s. A lot of the stock market starting to follow it up to a certain extent. I might lower this trend here, team. Still following this trend line, though. But again, Nvidia popping up over 478.50. Apple moving up as well with us. Watching Tesla also here, which has had a pretty bad skip, but moving up a little bit as well. So market's starting to break out of that trend. All right, most stuff's moving up. So we got the trend break here. All right, we're gonna buy this dip. All right, so we just made another 55 bucks on our funded account. We are up $320 on the day, 320. We might buy another little pullback too if we get one. Might be a little bit too late though. Too close to the open. We're gonna wait and be patient here. Oh, we broke 122,000 subs here, team. So thanks so much. We did break 102K. Okay, y'all be safe. Should have bought that dip and held it, but it's all good. Market's starting to push up. Tesla moving up. Amazon moving up. Nvidia moving up. Apple dipping down a little bit, but starting to head back up some. Nvidia now falling down some here, so we're going to wait. Tesla ramping up, though, over 240s. Getting some rips. S&P moving up big. All right, SPY technically green on the day now. Breaking past that trend. And again, shout out to Chart Prime because Chart Prime called this latest buy signal. I got the buy signal literally right there. And it called it right on the nose a couple minutes ago. And we got a nice push up since then. So shout out to Chart Prime. SPY technically green. NASDAQ still technically red on the day, but it's trying here. Amazon's still a little green, or a little red though. Q starting to head up, still red though, but getting closer here. Watching Nvidia. Yeah, I'm not feeling this song. This song kind of sucks. Too much. I'm going to buy this dip. All right, we're in one contract here on the NASDAQ. We're trying to be patient here. We got a cushion, so we might add to this. All right, so we got two contracts now. Oof, just getting punished here on the short. Yeah, I'm gonna have to cut this and get out. Just too much of a loss, unfortunately. Gave back all my gains. Kind of bummed about it, but it's all right. Yeah, I think on this Express funded account, I'm going to be mentally done if I keep trading it. You know, look, we took our swing and it's all good. You know, we'll come back another day, rested. You know. All right. We'll try this one. All right, so the SPY is now under the 200 EMA VWAP. Good song if you're washing your cat. Tesla dipping. Really interesting spot here, though. Kind of a double top. The SPY's pulling back down. Yeah, we are getting choppiness. Oh, wait. Sorry, hold on. Trying to make sure this is the right account. There we go. Okay. We did get a break at the highs here. Still heading up. Look at this rip. Yeah, I got out right at the lows. It's all good, though. Very big choppiness here, team. So choppy action right now. We might buy this dip here and attack this little range. All right, so we got a one contract here. See if we get a pop up. All right, so just made $70 there real quick, 70 bucks. So scalping this. AMD is a competitor to Nvidia. I think AMD's solid. But I think Nvidia is number one. But AMD's getting up there, you know. All right, let's watch the Apple. Apple pulling back to the 200 EMA. Let's see if it holds. All right, so here's the NASDAQ dipping down a little bit. I might buy this dip too. We're about flat on this trade right now. And we're actually flat on our funded account too, but see if we get a bounce. We're close. Fix our average here, see if we get a push up. There we go. Get me up enough to take profit. There we go. I took half off there. Took the rest off, locked it in. S&P is ripping up a little bit. Oh yeah, I'm definitely big Papa paper hands for sure. That's kind of how we do it here. We're gonna wait for manufacturing PMI to come out here, which is in about 6 minutes, 7 minutes. Tesla's still struggling to hold up there though, but still green, but still struggling here. NASDAQ dipping down a little bit too. We got a nice little green trade on this one too on the day. So services and non-manufacturing PMI is what this report is. So it's non-manufacturing PMI report. So it's services PMI data. So it's everything outside of manufacturing, strength or weakness, you know. All right, so we're back. Oh, okay. I wanted to buy that dip, but I like the move on Apple here right now, though. All right, so we are getting a nice little rip up in some stuff specifically. We got a little dip. I'm going to buy this dip here, see if we get another little pop-up. Such a choppy day, though, guys, so y'all just be careful. It's a very choppy day in markets right now. Oof. Big drop. I'm going to have to cut that. Oh, no. So our short worked, but now we're retracing back up. All right, we're going to cut the short. Big rejection here at the top. Weakness showing up here, though. It looks like ahead of this PMI data. Very flat day, though, team. I do see this weakness showing up, though. Let's see if it holds. See what the manufacturing data shows. Yeah, news comes out in 4 minutes here. 4 minutes, team. All right, market's right back up. Again, very choppy neutral day currently here, unfortunately. I guess the whole market's waiting for non-manufacturing data to go live. We'll wait for it. Again, it drops at about 2.5 minutes here, team. 2.5 minutes. Very slow right now, to be honest. So it's manufacturing strength or weakness. Here, what did I get on this? Hold on, let me check this real quick. Okay. Gotcha. I'm trying to see what I'm up. There we go. Okay, we're flat on this one. I'm going to take a quick little scalp here on this. See if we can scalp the top. We're going to cover this in the next 2 minutes, though, so we're not going to be able to hold this long term. All right, took half off. Wait, which one are we in the? All right, so we got out with a nice little gain there. There's the S&P start to test highs. Again, we got about 1 minute and 20 seconds left. It's something that signals economic strength or weakness. I'm not sure what the market wants. So I think it's manufacturing strength or weakness is what we're betting on here, and I'm not sure what we're gonna get. All right, guys, less than a minute. Less than a minute. Very choppy 5 or 10 minute period though, so could be something in which the market's waiting for unemployment, non-farm payroll data or whatever, you know. And again, remember, Topstep does have a sale going on today. So they do have a sale going on today where if you use promo code New Year 2024, you get 50% off any combine. So it only works once, so you can use it on the larger one if you want. There's the link right there. They are a sponsor of mine. I'm biased, but it's a great way to limit your risk, test your skill. You can get funded. They test you with the demo, and if you pass the test, they fund you. If you don't pass the test, you're going to lose very small amount relative to putting the money up yourself. A great way to learn day trading and futures. All right, guys, here's this report. Let's see what we get. 51.3 is what's expected. 51.3. 51.4, slightly higher than expected services PMI. Slightly higher than expected, 51.4. S&P Global Composite came in at 50.9 versus 51. So basically flat economic data here. Flat economic data. Nothing major. And again, we cover this immediately here. So subscribe if you haven't yet. We cover this very quickly. Very quickly. We'll put this data up on screen so you can see it. All right, so services PMI data again showed 51.4 versus 51.3, so basically flat. Here's this data right here. We're gonna buy this dip, although this is a pretty big drop that we're getting all of a sudden here. Very strange. This is a... Alright, we're in 2 contracts. We're flat right now in the position here with 2 contracts. We just took half off, locked in another $100 in profit there. I don't know what we're gonna get. We're at the bottom of the range here though. Yeah, we're kind of flat. We are green in our express funded account that we were trading on earlier. We're just green much less. We are up now $70 on the day. So, man, such a flat day on the spot. I haven't seen a low volume day this bad in a long time. Hey, thank you, Free. Appreciate it, brother. Yeah, market's starting to turn down on the NASDAQ, but look how choppy the SPY is. Amazon ripping back up. This might be some bull stuff coming through. Hey, thank you, Jay. Yeah, I mean, my big thing is I don't claim to be an expert or a guru. We're gonna try to buy this bottom of the trend level. I don't try to be a guru or anything like that. All right, we just made a quick little $140 there. That bottom little dip buy work, but look at the SPY crack down here. So I still think this is probably kind of bearish. So I'm gonna short this and take a larger risk since I have a cushion on the day, and if I lose, I lose. All right, just took half of that off. Might add to this position too down here. Took another half off. Just locked in another. So I don't know how much we're up, but I'm kind of bearish here. We're up about 5 on the day now. It's such a choppy day though, team. Y'all just be careful. We're gonna take our risks and try to build up $1,000 plus gain on this one. All right, so we're gonna add to this again. Again, we're trying to take a much larger risk. Since we have $500 plus in profit on the day, we can swing for the fences here, and if we lose, it'll be a smaller loss than it would be putting up the money. All right, so there's our swing. Got to be careful here. Let's see if it turns into something. flat currently. Big boy position moving quickly though. I'm gonna cut half of this here because I don't trust it. The SPY just bounced over the 200 EMA and the VWAP here. So I'm gonna cut it half of it there and just protect the trade and then hold it with 3 contracts instead because it's safer. All right, we'll take half off there, lock it in. We'll take the other half off there, lock it in. Maybe mismanaged it some there, but I think the SPY bouncing back over the VWAP. We're still up a lot on the day. Yeah, all right, we're gonna cut it. All right, so yeah, we're still up hundreds. This move scared me out of the trade, and it looks like it was the right move. So look at the SPY moving back over both the 200 EMA and the volume weighted average price. Just too risky in that regard for me. Like that big bounce back up scared me out, which is rightly so. I mean, again, we're still up hundreds. All right, look at that big move on the SPY. Again, very flat day. This might break us out of that chop, though. Amazon pushing up, Tesla pushing up a little bit also. Nvidia trying to bounce back. So look at Tesla and Amazon both fighting their way back up after a pretty red day overall. We're scalping this too. We'll start to scale into another big position. Anticipating the SPY breaks the top of the range and uses momentum to get ahead here. Risky bet, but again, we've got 3, 4, 500. Let me see. Yeah, we've got a bunch cushion on the day to play with it like this. All right, we just took half off, locked it in. Flat again. I don't know what we want to do. I'm gonna buy into this. See if we get a better average here. Oof. Giving it back on the day. All right, there's 2 contracts. We're flat. Took half off there, locked that in. Took another half off, protected the account there too. Now we can let the rest roll up. We're up about 200 on the remaining. We're gonna go ahead and cut that there. So that trade worked out well, scaling into it with decent size. Again, you can kind of see Tesla starting to fight its way back is what's going on. SPY did break the top of that range like we wanted. And again, shout out to Chart Prime. Again, I'm using Chart Prime a ton with my trading. If you don't believe me, like, look at this. So again, look at this is today's price action on Chart Prime. And again, I can't fake this. Look at the buy signal showing up here. And look at the symmetrical triangle, sell signal, buy signal. Look at the sell signal way back here. And we recently got another buy signal here. And again, I can't guarantee anything's going to work. Always make your own assessment. They're a sponsor of mine. But again, I can't fake this accuracy as well. And so genuinely useful. It's like 40 bucks. You can use it with anything on a symbol on TradingView. And you can check out the link right there. The promo code is right there if you want to get 40% off. But yeah, great way to help support the channel. You can check out the link in the description if you want. But I have been using Chart Prime a ton. They are a sponsor though, of course. I'm biased, like I always tell people. But on a longer term chart, you know, it's looking okay. We'll test this theory here. We're taking just one contract at the NASDAQ though. Yeah, I don't know, man. The market's pretty light volume right now. It's so choppy. It's boring. You know, we're taking some swings. Like, this is the funded account that we're in currently, or the combine account that we're in currently. And so we're starting to swing into this action. We're taking a little bit larger risk. We're willing to give all these gains back to have a much bigger green day is the point of this. We're flat right now kind of on this. So we want a little pop up, but if we don't get it, you know, again, this is what it takes. So like in these accounts, the way you get funded is you build up a cushion and then you take big swings, you know. And so we've got the cushion built already and now we're taking big swings and it might not work out for me here. But I'm willing to reset it if I need to. It's just giving myself the best chance. Like now if we lose here, we're basically flat on the day. We're back to break even. But if we win here, we got a big green day, you know. Such a choppy day though. It's probably not the right day to do this. Doesn't look like it's gonna work out for me here. Luckily, combine right now are 25 bucks. And so we're okay with resetting it, but we've already had 3 funded accounts anyway. So we're funded on 3 accounts, so it doesn't matter. We're not gonna be able to get funded now anyway. But yeah, I think that's my cue to exit it. Blowing one of my combine accounts is probably my cue to exit it. Luckily, again, combine accounts are $25 right now. You can get one of them for 25 bucks, you know. But again, we've got multiple that we play with regularly. We're already funded in 3 funded accounts. I didn't want to trade crazy in my actual funded account, which we ended up ending mostly flat on today. So in my actual funded account, we're mostly sideways, which is good. We built up a cushion in that one too and blew that. So it could have gotten worse. But yeah, we're mostly flat on my funded account. The market's just too flat and sideways though. So I'm going to bow out of here, guys. It's my cue to exit. Y'all be safe. Love you all. I'll be back tomorrow bright and early. Remember, tomorrow we got payroll numbers and unemployment data. So payroll numbers, unemployment tomorrow. We'll see what happens with that stuff. Again, today the market certainly reacted negatively to payroll numbers coming in higher than expected. Today we had what's called the non-farm employment change that came in much lower than expected for, let me see, it might have come in. Yeah, so non-farm data came in much higher than expected, signaling economic growth. Jobless claims came in much lower than expected, signaling economic growth. And the market did not react positively to it. The market ended up dropping, like you can see, we're down on the day, because I don't think the market necessarily wants economic strength. I think that's a bad sign for inflation, and I think you want to pay attention to that nuance tomorrow, because tomorrow we have the big boy payroll numbers and unemployment. A big day for markets. We'll see what happens, guys. Y'all be safe. Love you all. Be good. I'll see you guys later.